Well, I think it's safe to say that this is probably the wildest offseason in NFL history. There's still a chance we could see some more movement when it comes to those QBs, and Cleveland trying to move on from their former #1 overall pick in Baker Mayfield. The addition of Deshaun Watson doesn't help, of course. Coming off a down year due to injuries, still only 26, but his numbers more middle of the pack from what we saw in 2021. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, Jimmy Garoppolo entered the NFL offseason as the most available quarterback possible for a trade, but a potential trade has kind of been kicked further down the road with others finding a home and not Jimmy G. Side note, he's still recovering from offseason shoulder surgery. Expected to resume throwing, though, well ahead of training camp wherever that new home might be. So we're down to just 3 potential landing spots for Baker and Garoppolo there. In Carolina, the Panthers looking to move on from Sam Darnold. That didn't go too well. Started the season 3-0, but wrapped up the year at 5-12. In Seattle, they did receive Drew Lock, part of that Denver trade with Russell Wilson there, sending him back. But you can finally possibly see that as a 2 option with Lock there. Maybe a landing spot for 1 and 2. But the Texans, they do have Davis Mills coming off that rookie season. They do like him, but you never know. A veteran QB could compete for QB1 when it comes to the Texans. All right, for more on this, Jason Canfora tapping in this morning. And JOC, we all see the movement, of course, with QBs changing teams this offseason, something we haven't seen before. But what's the market here for Mayfield and Garoppolo moving forward?
It's quite limited. You touched on Jimmy Garoppolo's health. That's a significant issue. This is someone who there's no guarantees he's going to be full go for week 1. You trade for someone, you take on a $25 million salary, you probably start restructuring that contract and trying to add years. You want to be sure of his availability. He's mere weeks away from having his throwing shoulder repaired. So that immediately made that more of a back burner item. I do think he'll eventually be dealt, but I could also see a scenario where the 49ers are working avenues for a different backup, maybe even Baker Mayfield. The issue for Baker Mayfield is the $19 million price tag. There's teams that certainly know he can play in the league that would like him as a backup with upside, or a starter who might turn out to be more of a bridge guy. But those guys are making 10 to 12 million, on the high end. So how much of that salary will the Browns eat to move him? I suspect quite a bit. We can all remember 4 or 5 years ago, the Browns took on Brock Osweiler's contract knowing he wasn't going to make their team and essentially bought a second-round pick for $16 million. They know that to get much back in return for Baker, they're probably going to have to lower that price point. In the meantime, he's not planning on showing up for OTAs. They don't want him showing up for OTAs. He's got enough to do on his own, rest, rehab, recovery from the shoulder surgery. So I don't think anything's imminent. Houston's not interested in either of these quarterbacks. At this point, I expect Carolina to draft a quarterback. Seattle is interesting. I could see Baker Mayfield there for the right price. I also could see Seattle being a team that reaches out to Green Bay and ultimately gets Jordan Love, and they see if he, in year 3, is ready to be a starting quarterback.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.